nakupenda malaika.
In the Nairobi Supreme Court today, the jury found Mr. Langford not guilty of assault, citing lack of evidence.
Lack of evidence. That's what they always find.
And in other news, His Excellency the Governor has praised the continued stability of the colony, citing the rule of law as a cornerstone of progress.
1957, somewhere on the road between Nairobi and Kampala. A small tea shop with one radio, the verdict of a Nairobi rape trial. A white settler accused of attacking a Kikuyu woman has been found not guilty. The papers will call it justice. Most people will just call it familiar. Among the travelers listening is Thuo Ng'ang'a from Muranga, Alliance graduate, son of a catechist, nephew to rebels. He listens quietly, the way men do when their anger still has manners.
You Kenyans, your courts are loud, but your verdicts are whispers. At least we have courts. Yours still take their rulings from the governor's dinner table. Touché. But give us time. We're still learning how to pronounce freedom.
That's Musa Mkapa, law student from Tanganyika. He will grow into a man whose words defend the constitution he helps write, sometimes in parliament, sometimes from a prison cell. But for now, he's just arguing politics over lukewarm tea.
Makerere. They say that's where Africa learns to think for itself.
If you find thinking there, bring me back a little. My wife says I lost mine when we married.
They rode in rain and irony, the two constants of that decade. Rain, because the season didn't care who ruled the land, and irony, because the people who preached order were the same ones breaking it. By nightfall, the bus climbed the Makerere hill, headlights cutting through mist and memory.
Driver, tafadhali, near the main gate. I think this is the stop.
So, Mr. Philosopher, first time here?
First time this far north. Feels like another country, but the same ghosts.
Ghosts indeed of empire, ambition, and half-remembered prayers. He doesn't know it yet, but Makerere will test which of them he believes in.
You're the Kenyan writer, the one who said the drum remembers what the pen forgets.
I was trying to describe home before it disappears.
Then you'd better write fast. Disappearing is a habit where we come from. I'm Amina. Journalism.
Amina Abubakar, Zanzibari. Sharp mind, soft voice, impossible to ignore. In 10 years, her articles will be banned. In 15, she'll be quoted by men who never dared greet her.
Today, King Lear. Mr. Thuo, tell us, what does Shakespeare teach us about leadership?
That power stops listening before it falls.
Ah, the colonial student and his quick wisdom. Britain, my boy, listens. That's why she endures.
Outside, Kenya was still bleeding from the ears.
Settler cleared of murder, lack of evidence. Same song, new verse. A white man kills, and suddenly everyone forgets how to see.
They call it justice. I call it rehearsal. Same play, same ending.
Maybe they just don't hear us dying loud enough. They hear, my brother. They just changed the station.
And we sit here learning their laws, hoping the exam will ask about mercy.
It won't. Mercy isn't in the syllabus.
Then maybe we write a new syllabus. This time, every chapter ends with the truth.
Years later, Musa would stand before a crowd preaching unity and hear his own slogans turned into silence when the soldiers came. Amina would teach literature in Dar es Salaam until one day her students asked her why all her poems ended in exile. And Thuo Thuo would write speeches for leaders he no longer believed in, and sometimes destroy them before they were read. But that night at Makerere, they still believed words had power, and maybe they did, just not the kind they were hoping for. Makerere by night had its own syllabus. No lectures, no chalk dust, just music, perfume, and ideas pretending to be love. Every term, the students swore they came to dance, but the truth was simpler. They came to forget how small they still were.
See that guitarist? He plays like he's hiding secrets in every chord.
Maybe he is. Maybe that's what freedom sounds like. Slightly off-key, but full of hope.
Careful, philosopher. The last man who said that ended up married to a Ugandan.
That's how revolutions start. One dance at a time.
Aye, Thuo, you still standing like a monument. Come, the revolution can wait, the music will not.
It was the kind of night the history books never mention. Too loud, too alive, too human. Amina's laughter cut through the brass. Musa's arguments somehow found rhythm. And Thuo, the boy who measured life in verses, was starting to understand that freedom could also wear perfume.
3 stony collars, strong ones. We are philosophers tonight.
Philosophers? There you pay in theories.
Don't worry, we have plenty. Some even sound believable after midnight.
They would call this kind of night frivolous, the colonials, the pastors, even their own fathers. But every nation has its rehearsal before history begins, and for them, it sounded like rumba. By dawn, some would remember the song, but all of them, every last one, would wake knowing something had shifted. Every Makerere night had its quiet corners, the spaces where laughter cooled and truth came out in whispers. This one belonged to Amina and Thuo. She, sharp as fresh ink, with eyes that saw too much. He, a boy who mistook thought for safety.
You look terrified in there, Thuo. A Tanzanian asked you to dance, not to debate.
My feet were unprepared. Alliance didn't teach us coordination, only how to apologize in English.
Maybe you should have tried Swahili. It forgives more easily.
My father says language is a tool of the soul. But lately, I think it's a leash.
Then maybe that's why I write poems. To chew the leash before it tightens.
You're right.
When the essays stop making sense. When I want to remember who I am beneath the Queen's grammar.
And who is that?
A girl whose mother was told education would make her unfit for marriage. A girl still waiting to see if they were right.
That question lingered between them like smoke, curling, refusing to disappear. Years later, Amina would tell a friend that the most dangerous thing she ever did at Makerere wasn't protest. It was trust a man who listened too carefully. And Thuo, he would never speak of this night, but every woman he loved after would carry a trace of Amina's voice. Not her words, just her silence. The part that stayed.
Come, Thuo. One dance won't ruin your reputation.
But what if it starts it?
Philosophers hiding from philosophy? You left the hall before the revolution could finish its second verse.
The revolution was dancing offbeat. We needed air.
And fewer Tanzanians shouting uhuru between choruses.
My brother, freedom doesn't need rhythm, only timing.
There you go. Stony collar for the brave, coffee for the cowards.
We'll take the coffee. The brave ones die young.
Spoken like a true writer, afraid of both silence and hangovers. She's not afraid, just clever enough to survive both.
Malaika, nakupenda malaika.
You hear that? That song always sounds like it knows something we don't.
Maybe it does. Maybe it knows we'll spend our lives wanting what we can't name.
Or trying to name what we can't want.
That silence between them was the kind that becomes prophecy. In 10 years, Musa will hum this same song before giving his first speech as a minister. Amina will hear it on a radio in exile and switch it off halfway. And Thuo, he'll teach it to his students, pretending it's just a love song.
One last round before morning reminds us who we're supposed to be.
Then drink slow.
Tomorrow has a bad habit of arriving early.
And never apologizing.
They didn't know it, but that laughter was a kind of prayer, the only kind left to people who still believed words could keep the world gentle. Later that week, Thuo wrote a story, not for class, for himself. It was about a young man, newly graduated, who went home to teach his grandfather about progress. But the story had other plans. He arrived wearing shoes that squeaked and words that didn't belong to his village. His degree gleamed in his suitcase like a mirror, ready to show the old man how far the world had come. "Grandfather," he said, "you should see the city. We have roads that light up at night, buildings that touch the sky."
And the people, do they still greet each other before speaking of business?
The young man laughed, the way city people laugh when they think kindness is an old language. "Things are different now," he said. "We move fast."
Fast is good if you are running from a lion. But if you are running from yourself, it is only the legs that reach home, not the heart.
The old man poured tea into a calabash.
Drink. It's bitter today. The rain came late.
The young man took a sip and winced. He wanted to speak of sugar and progress, but something in the old man's silence made his throat close instead. Later, he found the old man outside, staring at the moon. "Grandfather," he said softly, "I came to teach you." The old man didn't turn. "And what have you learned so far?" The young man looked at the sky and wept, for his arrogance, for the city, for the degrees that never taught him to listen. He realized the world he was so proud to show off had no room for the kind of silence his grandfather carried like wisdom. Thuo never published that story, but years later his students would find it folded between lecture notes, no title, no name, only a line at the bottom written in pencil. Perhaps the old man was right. Maybe progress is just for getting slower. And that was how Thuo learned what every scholar learns too late, that sometimes the only lesson left is humility.